Well, if you're injured at work, you'll want to follow the proper procedures so your claim is protected. One wrong step can make a big difference in getting your benefits. Attorney Jim Higgins with the Higgins Firm recently stopped by to explain. And we've got Jim back on the show today. Great to see you again.
Thanks.
All right, we're talking a little bit about folks who get injured on the job. This happens, unfortunately more often than we'd like, but what's the process like? What does someone need to do if they have been injured, and what does the employer need to do as well?
Sure. Well, the most important thing at the very beginning is to give your employer notice. You don't know how many calls I get from people, months or years down the road that say, hey, I was hurt at work and I didn't say anything because I was afraid it would impact my job or I'd get in trouble. And it's too late a lot of times when that happens, and there's laws that protect you. So the biggest thing for that person to do is give notice. And there's a form called a first report of work injury that's generally filled out. And what I would also suggest is once that is done, you ought to get a copy for your own records. It doesn't always have to be super formal. It can be an email. You can tell the person, but just make sure that it's recorded that you were hurt. And then the next thing you need to do is get your medical care so you can get better and get back to work. And so when that happens and you've made your report of injury, you should get a choice of 3 doctors that you can choose from to go get your medical treatment.
Okay. Do you have any more tips on that as far as the medical care? Once we pick our doctor, what do we need to do?
Sure. All right. Well, there's a couple of things. One, a lot of times people don't know what doctor to pick. I would advise them, if they've had other people that they know that have had similar problems at their work, to ask them if they've seen any of those doctors. There are some doctors that I tend to like more than others from an employer. We do a lot of this work, and some of them seem more sympathetic to the employee than others, and that's just human nature, I guess. They're welcome to call our office with that list and say, I've gotten these lists of doctors. Any of them you've had experience with that you like or don't like. Once you go to that doctor, you be honest with them, be straight with them. And I don't mean that people will be deceitful, but I've got a lot of clients, big old guys, that will go in and the doctor will say, how you doing? And they'll say, oh, fine. Yeah. When they're really having problems.
Right.
And you got to be honest. You need to tell them, my back hurts, my leg hurts, whatever it is. You don't have to be a crybaby about it, but you want to be straight.
Right.
Because all of that is getting written down.
Definitely. So ask around. They can ask you
for
referrals, and then also be honest. And before we go, when should somebody contact your office if they have been hurt on the job? Right away?
They're welcome to. I get a lot of calls every day and about work comp injuries. I've defended these cases forever. I've done them forever, so I know a lot about it. And probably half of mine, I tell folks, you don't need someone right now. Most of the time when people need a lawyer, they know it. They're not getting their benefits, something's been denied, or it's a really serious injury that they know is going to keep them from going back to work or making a living.
All right, you can answer all their questions and really help them out. Thanks so much, Jim.
Thank you.
The Higgins Firm is serving Tennessee. Give them a call at 1-800-705-2121 or go to thehigginsfirm.com.